Coming up, the Padres and the Cardinals win with double-digit outputs. This is Locked On Now MLB.
The biggest games, the best performances, expert analysis. You are Locked On Now.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Now MLB, local experts weighing in on the biggest stories in baseball. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. We've got our Locked On MLB hosts here. They're going to recap everything for you from yesterday. The White Sox won in the afternoon. And on Sunday night baseball in the Bronx, it was last night's biggest game.
The biggest game.
The Chicago White Sox starters held the Yankees to a combined 1 run in the 2 games of their doubleheader on Sunday, as Chicago took both of them with victories. Locked On White Sox and Yankees go over the long day in the Bronx.
The Chicago White Sox won both games of the doubleheader against the New York Yankees in New York. White Sox got outstanding pitching from Johnny Cueto in Game 1 and Michael Kopech in Game 2. For Michael Kopech, it was his longest pitching outing of his career. He was absolutely brilliant. And for Cueto, he has now gone 12 scoreless innings in a White Sox uniform here in this 2022 campaign. Sox got just enough offense in Game 1. In Game 2, after all the drama, everything going on between Josh Donaldson and Tim Anderson, it was Tim Anderson with a huge 3-run home run. Sox won 5-0 in Game 2 of the doubleheader. Sox have a day off before facing Boston on the south side of Chicago.
This is Stacey Gotsoulias of Locked On Yankees, and the Yankees dropped their first series since Easter weekend. That's a long time. This feels strange. This isn't fun. I don't like this. I don't even want to talk about this. Today was just horrible. They were swept in a doubleheader. They scored 1 run. 1 run. There were a couple of good things. Jameson Taillon and Luis Severino. Those guys had major questions surrounding them coming into this season. And so far, they've done really well. They're progressing well. They both pitched or threw 7 innings, and Severino was 7 scoreless. So that's a good sign that both of those guys are looking that good. And it's a good sign that the, rotation looks good, but the offense, 1 run in 18 innings on Sunday? You're not going to win a lot of games if you only score 1 run, guys. I don't know if they're hungover from the homecoming dinner on Saturday night or what, but woof, that was rough. I'll have a full recap of this entire weekend, and yes, the entire weekend, and a preview of the series against Baltimore, which starts on Monday.
The Angels star sluggers showed up to win their series with the A's on Sunday, and Locked On Angels has the recap after LA took 2 of 3 at home.
Well, as the late, great Meatloaf once sang, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. Hey, everybody, my name is Mike Frisch, one half of Locked On Angels, and the Angels take 2 of 3 from the Oakland A's this weekend at home at the Big A, and it was topped off by Patrick Sandoval on Sunday, pitching 7 1/3 innings, striking out 7, and looking fantastic. And he was backed up with a great bullpen. Ryan Tepera came in and closed out the 8th inning. And then, of course, Raisel Iglesias, the best closer in the major leagues, gets the save, and the Angels win. And they won with some great offense. Shohei Ohtani hit his 9th home run, and Mike Trout hit his 12th home run. Angels have a day off on Monday, and then they start a 2-game series against the Texas Rangers at home. It's our revenge tour. They swept us last week. It's our chance to get them back. We're looking forward to it. We're going to talk all about it on Locked On Angels. Hope you'll join us.
Manny Machado showed up in a big way to help the Padres beat the Giants on the road. San Diego scored 10 runs in San Francisco, and Locked On Padres is feeling pretty good after another win.
Oh, man, he's nasty, isn't he? Oh, man.
What's going on, everybody? Javier Reyes here of the Locked On Padres podcast in my usual lair, as you can see behind me with all the books that I definitely read. But I can also tell you the Padres won. They sweep the San Francisco Giants, everybody, after winning their game by an astounding score of 10-1. They absolutely killed the Giants. Lots of errors, I will say, lots of weird moments. There was a weird moment, if I'm not mistaken, at first base, allowing the Padres' first baseman to reach. Manny Machado, all these multi-hits. What's going on? He legs out a triple. Manny Machado, your MVP so far for the 2022 season. Just absolutely awesome. And of course, Mackenzie Gore, who, yes, relies a lot on his fastball, but considering such a tumultuous development, falling in the prospect rankings, for him to come up and do what he's doing, 6 innings, 2 walks, 6 Ks, only 1 earned run on 3 hits. He did have 1 inning where the Giants hit him pretty hard, but other than that, I mean, he's a rookie. He's young. He's learning, and he's going to get all that off-speed stuff, hopefully, over time. He's looked awesome, and a sweep is a sweep. We got vengeance for some of those bad Giants fans treating our beloved, I should say, Jerks and Profar so poorly in the Friday game. Take that, you fools. Absolutely love it. One of my favorite series developments of the year so far for the Padres. Going to be talking about that and more on Locked On Padres, so keep it locked in.
Coming up, the Orioles ended the weekend with a walk-off in extra innings. This is Locked On Now MLB. Today's edition of Locked On Now is brought to you by BetOnline, the #1 spot for all of your online sports gambling needs. Basketball, NBA playoffs, and of course the NHL playoffs are well underway, so head over there to get your bets in. Just head to betonline.net. Welcome back to Locked On Now MLB. I'm Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. We're going to continue our look around the league.
Let's go around the league.
The Baltimore Orioles beat the Tampa Bay Rays in 11 innings Sunday thanks to the second walk-off from Rougned Odor in 3 days, enough for our very best performance.
Odorioles. That is the Baltimore Odorioles. Win it on Sunday and take the series 2 out of 3 from the Rays. Been a long time since the Orioles won a series against the Rays, but they do it this weekend with the second of 2 Rougned Odor walk-offs. This one wasn't a walk-off homer like it was on Friday, just a little trickler up the line that ended up being an error, but it works all the same. It scores Adley Rutschman for the winning run, and what a way to finish off his debut weekend as Adley comes to the bigs. Orioles win 2 of 3 from the Rays. Things are feeling good in Baltimore right now. The turn of the rebuild feels like it's happening in front of our eyes. The top prospect in baseball is up. The O's have won 3 of 4 against 2 of the best teams in the American League, in the Yankees and the Rays. Walk-off wins are fun. Walk-off wins with Adley are a lot more fun. And I'll break it all down, talking Adley's debut and the fun of this weekend on Monday's episode of the Locked On Orioles podcast.
You don't get many pitchers' duels coming up in Colorado at Coors Field, but the Mets shut down the Rockies for a 2-0 shutout win on Sunday. Both our Locked On Mets and Locked On Rockies hosts had thoughts post-game.
Surprise, surprise, the New York Mets have won another series. This is Ryan Finkelstein, the host of Locked On Mets, and as we've seen all year, this team just finds a way. On Sunday in the rubber match. It was Taijuan Walker delivering an outstanding performance for this Mets team. 7 strong scoreless innings. The Mets just get enough runs for him to complete the 2-0 victory at Coors Field, and we'll be talking about that on tomorrow's show. Also, I'm going to discuss the starting pitching in general right now. You know, this series, the Mets were able to get by with Carlos Carrasco and Walker delivering a couple of strong performances. In this upcoming series against the Giants, are they going to be able to get by with David Peterson and Thomas Sabucky? It's going to be a little bit of a tougher road, but I do think that there is some reason why the Mets should stand pat and not address their rotation through trades. So I'm going to go through all of that on tomorrow's edition of Locked On Mets.
Rock on Rockies fans, welcome into the Locked On Rockies podcast. Well, the longest homestand of the season for the Rockies comes to a close, and how does it end? Back-to-back series losses. The Rockies fall to the Mets 2 out of 3 games, shut out at home for the first time in 4 years, and the offense can't back up Austin Gomber's pretty darn good start as the Rockies just continue to fall below 500. And that hill back to relevancy is getting even steeper to climb. This team has a promising road trip ahead with 2 teams that they know that they can beat, but it's the Road Rockies. And confidence in the club is dwindling. We'll talk about it all right here on Locked On Rockies.
The Kansas City Royals led 6-0 against the Twins, but gave up 7 runs in the final 2 innings to let the win get away. Locked On Royals painfully takes us through the collapse.
The Royals led by 6 runs, 6-0 on Sunday. In the 8th inning, they went to their closer. They went to their setup guy. They went to their primary mid reliever. They lost. How can the Royals recover from this? Find out on today's Lockdown Royals podcast.
The Cardinals scored 18 runs in Pittsburgh to beat up on the Pirates Sunday afternoon, giving our Locked On Cardinals hosts all sorts of good things to say after it finally wrapped up.
Another Sunday, another offensive explosion for the St. Louis Cardinals. I'm Lucas Smith, host of the Locked On Cardinals podcast. It's hard to find anybody that didn't have a good day in the St. Louis Cardinals lineup, as everybody who played got a hit today, including Albert Pujols, who had a couple home runs. Harrison Bader had a home run. Nolan Gorman has another incredible day as he continues to start off his major league career on a very high and positive note. While you're not going to get 18 runs every day, this is the kind of offense the Cardinals can give you, even on a day when Paul Goldschmidt, arguably the hottest hitter in baseball, didn't even play. So the Cardinal offense continues an offensive performance of feast or famine. Today, it was feast. You also got to see a Hall of Fame pitcher on a back-to-back Sundays for the Cardinals. Last Sunday, it was Albert Pujols. Today, it's Yadier Molina. But the story on the pitching side today, Angel Rondon was incredible for the Cardinals coming out of the bullpen after Steven Matz was unable to give Edgerton out due to an injury. He saved this bullpen. So the story today is twofold for the Cardinals. Offensive explosion, as well as the bullpen, was phenomenal for St. Louis. A big-time Cardinal win. We're talking all about the Pittsburgh sweep on the next episode of Locked On Cardinals.
An error in the field in extra innings sent the Phillies over the Dodgers in Philadelphia yesterday. Our Locked On Phillies hosts and Dodgers hosts give you the details of the wild finish.
Oh my goodness. I'm still trying to calm down. I'm still trying to catch my breath. What a win by the Philadelphia Phillies. My hands are shaking. I'm still so excited. What a walk-off, especially, it's Alec Boehm. Are you kidding me? After what happened earlier in the game with the defense and setting them in that spot. Listen, that's a win that can jumpstart things. This is a team that fights. They have many flaws. The offense, flawed. The manager, flawed. The team, the defense, definitely flawed. But, man, they fight. And for Alec Boehm, with 2 outs, to hit that ball to second and then beat that out and hustle that and just put them in position. And then Roman Quinn scoring from second on a ground ball to the second baseman. Like, listen, that's stuff I do in beer league softball when the bases are like 40 feet apart. It's just an amazing effort by them, an amazing win for the team. That is a situation, that is a win that can jumpstart a team to go on a hot streak. They needed that one badly, and just what a darn win for the Phillies. I'm so happy right now.
Well, there's stupid ways to lose, and then there's what the Dodgers did on Sunday. What's up? It's Jeff from Locked On Dodgers. Dodgers had the lead the whole game, blew a 2-1 lead in the 9th inning to send the game to extra innings. Dodgers scored 1 in the top of the 10th, but missed out on big chances. They had bases loaded, 1 out, and unfortunately, Max Muncy struck out and Justin Turner grounded out, so they couldn't capitalize to score more. Looked like Justin Turner had made kind of a game-saving play in the bottom of the 10th, deking JT Realmuto to pick him off third base, put the Dodgers in a very good position to win. Unfortunately, with second and third and 2 outs, Evan Phillips got the ground out he needed from Alec Boehm, but it snuck through Max Muncy. Both runs scored, and instead of a game-ending ground out, it was a game-ending in the other direction error on the second baseman. So it's dumb. Dodgers still win the series, which is good. A little bit of revenge on the Phillies. And overall for the weekend, their pitching looked a lot better than it did against the Phillies last weekend. So we'll take that. Would have been nice to have a sweep, but it is what it is. Vince and I will have plenty to talk about. I hate that phrase, it is what it is. Pretend I didn't say that. That was stupid of me. But Vince and I will have a lot of stuff to talk about on tomorrow's episode of Locked On Dodgers. So thank you for making us your first listen every weekday morning.
That's all for today on Locked On Now MLB. Thank you for making Locked On Now your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you check out Locked On MLB and your team's Locked On podcast. This has been Locked On Now. I'm Kainani Stevens.